Hey guys, I am so excited that you are with me tonight. I am Melissa Shaver, and this is an extra special evening that we have together, and we have people popping on as I speak, so I'm going to keep going and hopefully can multitask. I'm not always the best at multitasking, talking and letting people in. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about tonight because this is probably one of the most favorite things for me every single month is for us to hear stories of men and women that are falling in love with Plexus through our products and what it is doing for their health. And then, as we all know, we end up falling in love with
I'm not on a video.
and so we have been blessed to be together and be able to share a little bit of what these products have done. I was making sure I've got everybody muted.
Okay.
And so tonight, you're going to hear from two extra special friends. Guys, if you could, I think I'm seeing everyone, but if not, if you can grab your mute button, that would be awesome.
So we had about 8 or 10 shots in each area.
Oh, I thought it was bigger now.
There we go. Okay, I'm so sorry. My apologies. So with that said, I'm super excited about tonight because these are two really special new friends. And I have to just share this story with you real quick. Many of you know Andrea Stutt, and she met Vicky and Kim in Phoenix whenever we were on a business trip there for one of our jewel trainings. And I still think about how she shared how she fell in love with them because as soon as she saw them, they were both smiling. They had been working out super early in the morning. So she thought, hey, they're smiling. They're up super early. They seem to really like each other. And so I want to be their friend too. And so that's how she met. And then I got to be brought into the little group and get to meet them and hear a little bit about their stories. And I cannot wait for you to hear tonight about their health story and what Plexus is doing for them, continues to do for them. Many of you may just be getting started with us, which welcome. You might just be getting started on your products. You might actually even be still questioning, are these products that I feel like would be able to help me with my health needs? And so with that, I want to say welcome. And then others of you may be here with us and you are lifers. You have fallen in love with these products. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And more than anything, this will build your belief. And so I want to start with Miss Vicky. Vicky is up in Indiana. Is that correct?
Yes, Indiana.
Okay, I'm like, that sounds so fun.
You're right.
She has 5 kiddos. I'm super excited about that. She's actually been taking our products for 8 years now. She's a big fitness enthusiast. I mean, I just got a major challenge tonight that I'm going to be working on because she is queen of pistol squats. And so we might get to hear about that, but she loves Jesus. She's very philanthropic, and she really is just a lover of life. And you're going to hear that in her story. So Vicky, I'm going to hand it over to you, and please tell us a little bit about your story and your health.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Michelle, Andrew was right. Kim and I do like each other because we're sisters. And not only do we like each other, we love each other. And so, Andrea, that was such a blessing for us as well to see you that morning. And ever since then, we bump into each other wherever we are. So it's fantastic. And I think what you all will see, hopefully through tonight's call, but also as you experience Plexus, the community that brings us together like this is absolutely incredible. And this experience speaks to that. So Michelle and Andrea, thank you so much for having both of us. And as Michelle said, my name's Vicky. I'm up here in Indiana, Fishers, Indiana, and I am a mom to 5. Proud to say 4 of them have flown the nest. So I'm getting down there to the last and final one, but I'm going to give you just a little glimpse of my backstory because that will help kind of fill in the gaps and how I landed here with Plexus and why it has been so instrumental in my life and my family's life and just all it is to me. But I'm going to take you back a little bit first. As I mentioned, I have 5 kids, and I have 2 that have given us a little bit of a run for their health and had some major health complications with both of them. My baby girl, who is now a 17-year-old and a junior, she had a level 3 brain hemorrhage at birth. And you'll see how this all comes together. But yeah, we had some real touch and go moments. And as a mom, some of the hardest days that I walked through was hearing that my baby girl may never walk or talk or get out of a bed. And if you were to see her now and see that she's a 3.5 degree black belt, and she is a true gift of a life right there. That brain hemorrhage happened on Mother's Day of 2006. Mother's Day 2007, my son, who is a junior at Butler, was diagnosed with cancer. And we faced 3.5 years of chemotherapy with Luke. Luke is now 6'4", a healthy, just incredible, another gift of life. But I shared those two stories in particular. And then we've had all the other bumps and bruises that come with life, right? But I shared those two because through that period, I was falling further and further down my list to take care of, and rightly so, right? We were fighting. We were in a big fight for a very long time. But through that, I really lost my health. I lost my zest. I was barely holding on as a mom. Fast forward, and you're going to hear from my sister here shortly, but fast forward, my sister introduced me to Plexus 8 years ago. And I remember saying to her, but I'm not unhealthy. I had a few little bumps and bruises that we get as we age, but overall, I really felt like I had my arms around life, although I was a stressed mom of 5, spinning a lot of plates. But, I thought that's how it was supposed to be, right? We kind of fall into what we think we are supposed to age, how it's supposed to look, how we're supposed to feel. So I thought I was actually a picture perfect health enthusiast. I was a runner. I laced up my shoes a lot. But I'll tell you, I also slept poorly. I woke up tired. I always said I could clear a half a tray of brownies without batting an eye. Nobody ever thought it was mom because I had all these other kids. They were all pointing their fingers at one another, right? But I had horrible sugar cravings, all the things. And I thought, this is just kind of how it is, and I'd wake up the next morning, lace up my shoes and go and think I was healthy. I always laugh. I was the one that would go into the gym with a full water bottle, walk out of the gym with a full water bottle, and then have McDonald's Diet Coke in my cup holder. It sucked down my Diet Coke. That was my lifestyle. And then enter Plexus. And over the course, for me, it was over the course of 6 months. And this looks different for everyone. This is just my story. Over the course of 6 months, began to make changes. And things I didn't even know were wrong. It was just how I had grown to think this is how I am. And they were subtle changes. And, slowly I started sleeping. I remember waking up for the first time after having a full night's rest. It had been decades since I knew what that even felt like. And then all of a sudden that infused my workouts, right? So my workouts started getting stronger because I was sleeping better, which then led me to want to seek better nutrition. So it all started feeding into one another when I started paying attention to what was happening on the inside. I always say it's not exciting to talk about, nobody can see it, right? But it's our everything to how we feel. And so over 6 months, my body started feeling better. It started responding. My workouts became more efficient. And the rest has been a beautiful story unfolding over 8 years. But, I want to weave back to my daughter, and I'll never forget. It was her neurologist who said, when we bring natural supplementation and modern medicine together, and when we meet in the middle, we find this beautiful balance. And I loved that because this isn't anything extreme. It's not an all or nothing. There were 3.5 years we needed to lean really chemotherapy. So it's not the whoops, there we go. Thanks, Michelle. It's not an extreme one or the other. There are times we just need a really good antibiotic. right? There's a time we need a prescription. But what Plexus has done for me and for so many people that we help is it allows you to get back into the driver's seat of your own health, and get rid of the junk that you're holding on to, the toxins that your body wants to keep a hold of. It gets rid of all of that, and when that starts happening, you just have this beautiful domino effect of healing and rebalancing and finding that middle ground of a little bit of both. And so that has just been a glimpse at all that Plexus has done for not only me, but my family. And, as a mom, there's no greater gift than to be able to watch my kids become advocates for their own health as well, and take care of things that I didn't start addressing until I was late in my 40s, because that's when Plexus came into my life. But to be able to have this as a tool, not only for us to allow us to show up as our healthiest version, but also to watch our kids be able to start navigating the things that we just kind of assumed that's just how I am. It's been a real gift to watch that unfold in their life as well.
That's incredible. A couple of things that you said that I think are so key is you said, this is just how I am.
Mhm.
And I think we do grow up that way with these beliefs that are not true. We
Right.
think that they're true because it's always been that way, or it's like the boiling frog that you just move
Right.
to that direction. And I also believe that we think that the older we get, it's going to be a domino anyway, that we think we slow down and we feel a little bit worse, and it's just who I am.
Right.
And we've labeled ourselves in that way. And it's fascinating to hear you say, like, in 6 months, I realized that it's almost like this is who I am got redefined very slowly of a new identity.
100%. And it's interesting, especially, I always say I didn't come for weight loss. I didn't think I wasn't healthy. I was running marathons, I was doing triathlons, yoga, you name it. But I look back and, and now I see it. But I felt like I was behind a mask.
Mhm.
My most important and proudest job is raising 5 really cool humans. I love being a mom. But there were times I had 5 different school buses coming in at once, dropping off those kids. And I remember having to give myself a pep talk to make it till bedtime, through dinner and homework and bath times. And I was exhausted. And I'd lay down and I'd do it all over again the next day. And I just thought, again, this is life as I know it. And I had a lot of stress before. So I just kind of figured, I'd fallen into that. And I look back now, and my kids know I loved being a mom when I didn't feel well, and I enjoy being a mom now that I have clarity and energy and good sleep. Doesn't mean there's not a bump in the road here and there. Of course there are, but I'm equipped to face them a little bit better because I feel better. But at 55, I just turned 55 this year. At 55, I can honestly say I feel better than I did when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of supplementation, is it fills in the gaps of what we're missing, how we're missing it. And it's not extreme, it's not substituting,
Right.
but when we give our body what it needs, it is amazing what comes with that. And to be able to show my kids this is life, and this is living life and feeling well, and truly waking up happy,
Mhm.
is a really fun side effect that I didn't expect to come.
I love that.
So it's,
Other thing that
been a
you said
beautiful
that I
ride.
think is so key is, which I just say it so often, is that we're changing generations to come. As a mom, the atmosphere in the home, you set that pace.
Mm.
And even though you were a great mom, you have a great mom now with clarity and energy, and it's a different type of great mom. And it changes the atmosphere, but it also changes generations into where for years as an adult, for me, I never knew how to advocate pre-plexus. And plexus, just advocating for my health, has taught me how to advocate for my life.
Yes.
But our children are getting to watch that. We're modeling that, and that means that their future looks so different because they've learned at a younger age how to advocate
Absolutely.
because you've modeled that. So I just think that that is so beautiful. So I have a question for you.
Of course.
I know that there's a lot of products that you love and you're very, very active. So I hear all of that. I'm a triathlon runner myself, so I adore you even more. I just learn more and more. But tell me a little bit about your favorite product. What if you could only have one, what would that be?
Oh, that is, and that's a hard pick. That is a really, because I have a nice representation of plexus in my cupboards, but I have to say one of my favorites, and it's come out, we've had it now for a few years. I happen to have one right here. It is the Active, which is a clean energy. But what I love about Active is it's clean energy, it's brain health, it's heart health, it's minus the junk. I love how Plexus backs the products, and they saw such a need for this. And especially for our younger generation, because there's so much garbage out there that is in their vending machines and that is promoted as that energy drink that is destroying their insides. And so I love that Plexus said, oh, we've got, we need to step up in our community for our younger generations in particular, but also for those of us that love that clean energy. Personally, I drink it on the way to the gym, and while I work out, it increases your nitric oxide, which gets that blood pump into your organs, and you can truly feel it when you drink it. And so, yes, that's it's a hard pick, but that is definitely one that I always have close by.
Yeah, it's such a good one, such a good one. Thank you so much for your story. I could ask a million questions, but I'm going to stop, and we're going to meet Sister. We're going to meet Sister Kim, that I'm also feel like somehow we're cousins because she lived in Arkansas for 30 years. So I know that we're kin, even though that's not where you're homegrown. But she was in Arkansas, and guys, this is what I want you to hear. She's so fascinating to listen through just where the Lord has taken her. But for I think like 30 years, she was a journalist, she was a producer, she was a reporter. Very cool work that she did. But at the age of 40, made the decision to make a huge career change and career choice and became an RN. So my thinking is just, oh my goodness, the discipline to move in that way and to be able to do the work that she's doing, because as we know, I went to seminary right around that same time frame, age, and we have littles all around us. So we're studying and going to school and probably doing a lot of other work. And she is a brand new grandma, so that's near and dear to my heart. Little Brayden, precious thing. So Kim, I want you to share a little bit of your story with us. You have such a big health story, and just encourage us a little bit about how you came to Plexus and what it's done for you.
You bet. Well, first of all, nothing as an older sister and somebody that I love to hear, I know Vicky's story. I've walked it alongside her from the time she was 0, but to realize that because I said yes to somebody, the trickle effect is just overwhelming and oftentimes tearful because it's so big. But yes, hi guys, I'm so glad you jumped on this evening. Again, my name's Kim. I just turned 60. So I thought the 50s were the best decade, but I am now claiming 60s as the best decade because life has come at us and we are still standing up and have beautiful perspective because of what we have gone through. And you're probably going to leave this call tonight thinking, those two sisters, wow, have they been hit? And I will expand on that in a moment, but it's because of our blows in life that led us to this. Hands down, believe that. So as you said, yes, I went back to school at 40. Hardest thing I ever did, because I played a lot when I went to school in my 20s. So I learned discipline, but I knew I had a bigger purpose, and that was to help people, and loved nursing. Thoroughly thought that that's what I would do my entire life. But I was also living the life of a nurse, which is 12-hour shifts. You're taking care of everybody but yourself. Your days off, you're lying on the couch, because I was a psych nurse, so it was a very emotionally taxing and physically taxing. And then you'd get up and plow through another, round of shifts. So I was living off of Diet Cokes, and I knew they were bad for me, but 5 and 6 of them got me through the day. I thought I was really impressed with myself when I would pop my Diet Coke in the morning and take my vitamin, because I at least was trying to do something good for myself. But I knew I could not function during the day without the peanut M&Ms, the Diet Cokes. Plus, I had a myriad of health issues that I just chalked up to, well, my mom had them, my grandma had them, my sister had them. And I took 4 pills a day to deal with these pulsating explosions in my head that had me hiding under a pillow and missing out on activities. And one day my doctor said to me, Kim, there's nothing more we can do, so let me write you a script for a narcotic. Well, nursing and narcotics do not go hand in hand well. So that's what started me searching, and more so being open to something different. Because again, yes, I worked that arena. There's a time and place for medicine. I'd hit my wall, which is what had me turn to Plexus and seeing what my body was meant to do, because I had lost sight of that over the years and had been band-aiding just to get by. I had a social worker friend at work who continually tried to talk to me about it, and I gave her that leave me alone kind of thing until I didn't have another option. I started, and with the full intention that I was just going to send it back, because I just didn't know how to say no any longer to her. But move ahead now 9 years. In that process, I was able to not only resolve some significant health issues, but prepare my body for some significant things that were coming, which I had no idea with, but God knew, because he aligned me in a way that I could battle something that nobody would ever think was coming. And so as I hummed along helping people, because they saw such a difference in me, we had lost our 27-year-old son, which, if you're a parent, there is no greater tragedy. And what it does to you emotionally is unspeakable, but what it does to you physically is equally, if not more, the stress and the grief. And so I was in the darkest of places when I started Plexus, and people kept saying, we're noticing changes in you. At the time, I wasn't connecting the gut-brain connection, but that's what was happening. Did Plexus cure my grief? Absolutely not. But Plexus let my body start functioning again so it could fight for joy again. So I started to feel alive again. And I laugh now thinking, God has a very funny sense of humor, because he brought me out of that with a pink drink. And when I say that out loud, I know how funny that sounds, but that's my truth, because all of a sudden I was feeling better. I was sleeping again. My anxiety was decreasing. I had an appetite again, a healthy appetite. I was stepped back into life. And so I respected what my body was doing because of the supplementation. Move ahead, years of helping people, more than I ever could running the halls of the hospital, because I left eventually to do this full time, because I felt such a need to get to as many people as I could. And then there was a day during COVID when, I kept on thinking, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And as a nurse, I was not afraid to keep pounding on doors. And it was finally, and Vicky was there when it happened. I got a diagnosis that nobody saw coming or really knows about, but I have a rare lung disease called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. And my liver does not produce a protein that my lungs need to protect themselves. So my lungs over the 60 years have basically just been eating themselves away. And so my sister, who I lovingly have run half marathons with, hated every minute of it. I'm not a runner, but I used to say, if Luke can go through chemo, I can surely do this. But I was always so bad. There's been marathons where Vicky has run backwards, trying to get me to keep going. But I kept on thinking, I'm doing all the things, but I can't breathe. Well, now we know why. But the happy side of this story is my transplant team and everybody I encounter, because this is a very rare disease, they all say, you do not match what your disease looks like. You are redefining what this disease is because of your immune health and because all the work you did all those years when I didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it has now come to serve me so beautifully, because I have built a fortress of an immune system that has allowed me to redefine what this looks like. So, as I always say, immune health, heck yes. For the average Joe, oh my gosh, yes. For somebody that falls in a very unique category, Plexus is saving my life and extending my life, because these products are just brilliant science to make our bodies function the way they are meant to function. So in a nutshell, I started because of these crazy, head bury myself under the pillow issues and getting off the meds. And I land 9 years later, defining what it looks like to have something that should have me leveled out. And yet I work out 6 days a week. I can't do those pistol squats yet, but there's the goal for this year. And I've stepped back into life and get to live it on my terms, because I prepared my body for what I'm facing, and there's nothing I did wrong. It's genetics. And yet here I am, but I face it healthy because of these products. And I quit my Diet Coke. So that in and of itself was something I never thought would happen.
I love that. And I love, hindsight 2020 is some of the most beautiful things. And for you to say, I'm redefining what this disease even looks like because I prepared my body. Like, to hear you say that whenever at the time you didn't even know you were preparing your body for anything.
No.
And yet now you can look back and say, look at what God laid out for me. I also so appreciate, number one, thank you for sharing about your son. Because I know that you share it so openly here, but that also tells me that you share it openly in your life, and that ministers to so many people. But the words fight for joy, I think men and women in their own terms, I was thinking about with Vicky, because we are silent sufferers, and everyone is fighting for joy in some way in their life. Just the words that you use are so beautiful, but I just hope for everyone that you just kind of hold on to, what do I need to redefine, and what is it that I am preparing my body for? And can I start really thinking from a proactive standpoint of, I want to find joy today through these products, that happiness, right? We're the health happiness. But also, what is it setting me up for to have great health futuristically? I think it's just such a beautiful piece.
And don't you think, Melissa, I think the older we get, we kind of begin to morph into that perspective. When you're younger and dealing with kids and all, again, as Vicky said, you put yourself on the back burner. And oftentimes it's not until you get that call or that lab or that diagnosis or that meeting with the doctor that you really tune into it. And I look at my responsibility, to be perfectly honest, is to, let people know, first of all, it's never too late,
Right.
but it's also never too early,
Right.
because you don't know what's going to be around the bend, even if you're doing all the right things.
Right.
Life happens.
That's
But
right.
when you can come equipped as best you can, you're already won the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. So beautiful. Okay. I want to ask you, in the midst of all of this as well, I mean, I'm so curious towards what would you say was kind of that product for you that you feel like helped maybe boost your health or brought joy? That pink drink definitely brought joy, but
Yeah, and that's kind of like asking who your favorite child is. I mean, to be honest, and it changes just like who your favorite child is at the time. It changes.
Mhm.
I think that right now, well, first of all, during these seasons of ick, as I call them, because I have to be extremely careful, the immune products are my life. As I always say, if there's a fire, the dog and the X Factor and the Immune Plus are coming with me. But when I went through menopause, I was hit kind of hard, and I was doing all the things. I was cycling, I was eating, kind of well, but I was eating well and could always maintain it. Menopause hit, and I developed a cement tub around my midsection. I'm thinking, what is this? And why can't I get it off? Because I was always able to,
Mhm.
ebb and flow those pounds.
Mhm.
When I started the reset program, and I do it monthly, it was amazing how I rewoke my body, and now it's performing for me again. So, I dropped 30 pounds, and I was still within a healthy weight, but it was that around my mid that when you hit menopause, that's hard to get rid of. And that reset program just let my body know who's in charge again.
Mhm.
And then of course it helps with every other aspect, because I won't get to bundle all those really good products together in the reset. So but I would say my biggest transformation, body wise, has been the reset.
That's incredible. So, guys, that's a 3-day nutritionally supported fast that she is speaking about. 68 grams of protein. It's phenomenal, but it is a deep
Smart.
cell
Mhm.
detox fast that really resets metabolism, resets your system. So I love that. And you, it sounds like that you've done multiple resets.
I have done a reset a month since it came out last June.
Okay.
And it was several months before. And, I'm just going to be honest with you. I love a good meal. I do not skip a meal. And yet it was no longer working in my benefit.
Right.
But I was still working out every day. But it was like month 3 of reset. All of a sudden, I saw things start to change.
Mhm.
And now I don't do it for the weight. I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm happy with where I want to be. But to have that liver cleanse and that GI cleanse, and to just, the clarity that comes with it, I just feel better when I do it. And for 3 days, I don't have to cook. And that in and of itself is a benefit for me and my husband. So
Right. Everyone, you have an excuse. You have an
yeah,
excuse.
so I
I
did
love
that
that.
during COVID. When the first time I got COVID, I'm like, score. I'm getting everything I need
Yes.
without having to think about it. So it's a brilliant program that they've given to us, but it's been really effective to get my engine moving again.
Right, right. And I love that because that's just a segue into, we've got Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, some incredible deals. If you're new and you are making decisions, I want you to know about that. We've got some reset specials. We've got some active specials. We've heard those two. There are really great ones going on right now. Some really cool things coming out. So please ask your friend that invited you, or if you're wanting to share, if you're listening to this and you love these products and you're like, I want to share in the way that they're sharing because I see the benefit of that and the value of sharing with others so that they can get healthy, please reach out to the friend that got you even started on these products. We want to help you know where your referral link is and how to get started on that. You get bonuses weekly whenever you start sharing, and it's just in time for Christmas. So some really big things coming up. Please know about that. But as we close out, Vicki and Kim, thank you so much, first and foremost, for sharing your story. But I do just want to ask one question. Thanksgiving is next week. We're right here at this just time to have gratitude and be grateful for our lives and the things that are going on. And I would really love, and Vicki, I'll start with you, but I would really love to hear just what is your favorite part of sharing Plexus with somebody that you've met, somebody that you know?
Oh, it's one of my favorite things. We have the opportunity to truly change a life, to change the trajectory of a family, regardless of what stage they are in their life. And I honestly, Melissa, I feel it's a responsibility that I have because I know what it's done, not only for me and my family and my children, but for so many people around me over the last 8 years. And what do we do when we're all together? We talk about how we're feeling, how much sleep we did or didn't get. It's such a point of conversation as it is that there's not a chance I could keep this in my back pocket without sharing. And I always ask my friends, my family, trust me on this as I trusted my sister, because it will change your life. And I love it because it's not a one size fits all. We all need something different. And, that's one of probably my most favorite things is it's going to speak to what your body needs.
Right.
So yes, I don't miss a day. Every day I leave the house, I truly think, whose life can I change today? It's just that incredible.
And you're 8 years in. That's incredible.
8 years
Thank
in.
you. What about you, Kim?
The favorite part of this, that's hard because that's making me narrow it down. But I think it's the community. It's like-minded people who want to better themselves and make an impact, whether it's in their family or their community. Both Vicki and I have foundations that we are supporting because of Plexus. So it's, I think I came in purely for a selfish reason. And as I grew in Plexus, it allowed me to grow my vision of my mark in this world.
Yeah.
And that is using the Plexus platform to be able to touch on things like grief and organ donation and addiction and fighting for joy through tragedy, things that in some form or fashion probably touches a whole lot of lives. And having experienced all of that in a lot of different hard ways, God has given me a platform to get myself on the other side of it so I could not just help with gut health, but the whole person. And that comes with having communities like this of people who just want to be more, feel more, and do more in the world. Right. So that has to be my favorite. And then I get to do it with my sister.
I love that. You guys are jewels. I tell you what, thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Kim. And thank you everyone for being on with us. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. We're here to help you. And you guys have a great night. Talk to you later.
Thank you, guys. Good to meet you.
Bye.
Good night.